Hi everyone, Jeremy Davis here, and I want to talk a little bit about endoscopic surveillance for CDH1, especially here. As many of you know, we're running a randomized trial that started last year. The good news is we've enrolled about 120 patients so far, so we're about a third of the way done because the target accrual for this study is 350. So I'm hoping we'll be done sometime spring of 2025 if we keep up this pace. So that's the good news. That part of the research is going really, really well. I think the bad news that goes along with that many of you may have heard, is that the interest in our study and general interest in what we're doing here is pretty awesome, but we can't see everybody. And a lot of you have reached out recently about taking part in our research and coming here. So I just want to outline a few things again that may be helpful. One is that the study that I have for hereditary gastric cancer is a longitudinal study. It's called a natural history study. And to be a part of that just means coming or virtually meeting with us, sharing information. And that's it. And we've learned a lot that way. And we don't necessarily need people to come here to do that. It's super valuable just to be a part of that, because then we keep in touch with you as years go by. We learn about you and your family and your, what's going on in your medical life with regard to your stomach or your breasts. Obviously, lots of people do come here. I still do lots of gastrectomies for CDH1. I did some last week and the week before that, and I have more next week. And that's all well and good, but from an endoscopy standpoint, from a surveillance standpoint, we are seeing as many people as we possibly can, and we're essentially maxed out. We're not a huge building. We don't have a huge infrastructure, and frankly, we have limited resources. And if you have questions about that, then I encourage you to contact your representative in Congress. We can only do so much with what we're given. I would love for us to have more space, have more people, have more time, and maybe we could scope everybody that wanted to come here. But right now we can't. We're limited on resources, limited on space. So if you reach out and say, hey, I want to be a part of that longitudinal study, part of your research, or I want to come there and get my stomach removed because I've decided that's the best thing for me and my family, then yes, we can see you and we can do that. If you want to come here so that we can do your surveillance, that may not be possible. And I don't think it's going to be possible for any new patients for the time being. I think the likelihood of a new patient coming to see us tomorrow and getting an endoscopy anytime in the next year is probably pretty low and probably unlikely to happen. And I think that's disappointing maybe for some people. It's disappointing for me in some ways, but I also think there are lots of great centers out there that see people with CDH1 and do surveillance very well. And I've told you about colleagues of mine throughout the country and pointed you in places to go or people to talk to. So I think for now, we encourage people still to reach out to us. We think we're a good source of information, and I think we're doing really exciting research. We can certainly still see people and consider taking them on for our longitudinal study and learning from them. I still can see people for gastrectomy, but the surveillance part is tough. And I encourage any of you who are disappointed to hear this to, again, reach out to your representatives in Congress, reach out to people here at the NCI and ask why. I think all of you watch the news and you know what kind of climate we're in terms of, budgets and whatnot. And our budget here is flat and things are a bit tight and it's tough. So with all that said, we're excited though that the randomized trial is going really well. The randomized trial has enrolled about 120 people already. Remember, if you're on that study, you can re-enroll up to once after the initial enrollment. So you could get 2 endoscopies as a part of that study. However, beyond that, if the study's still going on, you may not be able to get your endoscopy here until that study is over. So these are all kind of contingency plans that people need to make for themselves, and talk to their providers at home about what their options are for surveillance if for some reason they can't get it done here. As usual, if you have any questions, email me or call my team. I appreciate everybody's involvement. We have a couple papers coming out in the next couple of months that I think are going to be super exciting and helpful for people in the CDH1 community. So thanks again. Talk to you next time.